Hi everybody, it's Christy Day. A couple people asked me a while back, Christy, how did you make that crazy hat? We kind of like that thing. Well, it is an interesting process, one that I came up with because I had a ball of yarn that was kind of a wild ball of yarn, like this one is. It was given to me as a gift, but it's not quite enough to make a scarf, make anything else with. So then what am I going to do? And then I thought, I could felt with it. So I'm going to show you today how to make a simple little hat. And it's fun because you can put the brim up and you can kind of change it any way you want. You can kind of, bring it down, bring it up, do all kinds of stuff with it. And as you roll it up, it makes it tighter. So you can put it on kids even. So how do you make it? Well, let me show you how. You need something that's a little bit larger than your head, like this little fake pumpkin, or you could get like a bowl, whatever. If you're not sure how big your head is, go ahead and measure your head, and then just measure the circumference of whatever you're going to use. Then you're going to need your yarn, and you're going to need a needle felting needle. This is actually, oh my gosh, my needle felting needle is bent. And go get a different needle. But anyways, you're going to need a needle felting needle. And you're going to need really like some pantyhose or netting. Pantyhose works best because once you needle felt this in place, you're going to kind of stretch the netting over there and then you're going to wet felt it while it's in place. Does that make sense? It totally makes sense, right? So it's kind of like if you've ever seen wet felting on the ball videos, it's very much like that, only instead of roving over, we are using yarn. So let me get this up high enough that you guys can see it. It's around here. I don't want to pop this out because that's how I break cameras. Okay. Now let's start at the top because that's easiest. And we will start making a little circle. Okay, so you've got your little circle and you're just simply going to, I need to get a math. I'm having a problem with my with my editing software, and YouTube has changed, so I can't really stop these clips and upload them and marry them together easily. So now I have to learn an entirely new system, which has led to a radical decrease of how many videos I put up. So I'm sorry if you've been missing a bunch of videos. That is why. Okay, I'm going to switch to this while I'm doing this little circle-y thing. This is just a cushion, and that's what I use for needle felting. So see what I do is I do this sort of lateral, instead of going up and down, I'm going side to side. Maybe I can zoom this in for you. I'm going side to side. Oh, if I can twist this down. And I am connecting these two pieces. Now, it is Christmas break, my kids are home, and I'm filming in my house instead of my workshop because the workshop is not heated and it's super mega cold in there, and I just do not want to try to work in cold weather. So you see how this is going? We're just going to do this and keep doing it, keep wrapping around. And like I said, this is some pretty funky looking art yarn. If you're a spinner, you can make your own art yarn. If not, you can pick up some art yarn. You can find it on Etsy. Really, you need to be a home spinner. Now, this is 100% natural fiber, so it's going to felt. So you do not want to pick up acrylic yarn at the store because that won't wet felt. You can actually needle felt it, but it won't wet felt. So you need something, and this is a combination. I see some mohair in here, I see some wool in here, there might be something else in here, there's locks in here. It's a beautiful little yarn. It's just, it's a bit much to crochet or knit with. Some people love crocheting and knitting with art yarn, and it will give you something fantastically different looking. It's just, I find it challenging. So we're just going to continue to wrap around and around and around and around. And when we get a good little plate, this is telling me my battery's almost done. We're gonna, we'll go ahead and we'll wrap it around the thing. So this part is super simple. Maybe YouTube will let me speed it up. They haven't taken away all of our editing abilities, just the ones I love. What is it, YouTube? We had something fairly good. I'm just being a little random here. Just gonna peel it off. See, it's still kind of loose. It's together, but it's not super together. You don't need it to be super together to start it. You just need it to be mostly together. Now I hear my husband, hopefully he doesn't come in here and interrupt us. But just sort of. Now on this part, you need to be careful to connect one row to the next without stabbing yourself. That's why it's good to just, can you see how my needle's just going right over the top of it? And because this is such funky yarn, I have a lot of stray fibers that I can push and interlock. So I'm just going along the top of it, and there's tiny little barbs in here. If you're not familiar with needle felting, and those tiny little barbs are grabbing the fibers and pushing them into the next piece of yarn. Now, if you're having any kind of trouble, you can take random loose fiber and also put it in there, and that'll help stabilize it a little bit. Dropped my needle. Okay, maybe I can pause. Let's see if I can. We're gonna go around like this. Dogs. So we're just gonna wrap around like this, and we're just gonna go a little bit at a time. So I'm going to go ahead and pause, make this part one, because there's a bunch of noise going on all over the house, and it's driving me nuts to film with. So we'll stop here, and I'll upload.